So we're going to talk about phylums within the plant kingdom. So it's even though we kind of talked about types of fungi and we talked about types of protists, we're actually learning the actual phylums within the plant kingdom, okay? So these are the phylums right here. We're going to go over each one. They're in order of what we consider the evolutionary process of plants. And let's learn about them, okay? So bryophytes. Bryophytes are our first plants. Where were our first plants found? Water. So they still exist, okay? They have to be where there's water. So they have to be in damp areas because they rely on water for their reproduction. And without reproduction, they can't survive because their species would die. They actually do not have traditional parts of plants. What do you consider traditional parts of plants? Stems. Good. Stems. They really don't have true leaves. Good. And they don't have something else. Good. Because why would they? They're kind of floating around, right? Good. And they transport water. They cannot transport water throughout the plant. Anybody know what structure transports water throughout the plant? It's found in the stem.
The roots.
The hive.
So inside the stem, there's this transport water system.
I know what it is.
Okay, we're going to learn about that today too. I'm going to keep you hanging, see if somebody can remember. I left you hanging for seconds. Land plants are going to have vascular tissues, and that is the reason why they're able to transport water. So inside the stem, there's a structure called the vascular tissue, and that's really one of the reasons why they were able to survive on land. So bryophytes are my only kingdom of aquatic plants or damp area plants. And now we're moving on to land plants, which is the next three kingdoms. Okay, I mean phylums. So the first one, anybody can say that name? There you go. Or more people will commonly call them tracheophytes. So for a long time, they were tracheophytes, but the actual phylum name is not tracheophyte. Most people, and if you go here, you notice when I introduced the phylums, ferns, is the big category, okay? They kind of reference the categories as the common name that people can refer to the plants. So tracheophytes are actually ferns, okay? They're the first true plants that can live on land, so in terms of the evolutionary process. But they do not have, what's this little picture here? Seeds. So their reproduction is not like common. You don't have to actually, oh yeah, there. So gymnosperms, next phylum. These have seeds. They are also, they should say, first seed bearing, okay? They're cone bearing. You see all the little cones? They're commonly referenced as coniferous plants, and they do not need water. So even though they're land plants, they do not need water for their reproduction. They can reproduce without relying on water. So those are seeds. Good. All right. My last phylum is angiosperms. What do you think angiosperms have? Petals, which are called what?
Leaf.
What is this beautiful thing here?
A lotus.
A flower. Wow, you guys went way off. Oh, I didn't hear him. The reproductive structure is actually located within the flower, which is a really interesting dissection, I have to say. And they also are seed bearing.
Oh.
So there's two types of flowering plants or angiosperms, which are divided into monocots and dicots. So all flowering plants are either going to be monocots or dicots. And what makes them a monocot or a dicot are those characteristics of their seeds, their roots, their vascular tissues, their leaves, and their flowers, okay? So you're not going to have to memorize that chart. I will provide that chart for you on the test. And then I give you like a flowering plant, and I tell you to tell me if it's a monocot or dicot, and you're going to look at those characteristics to decide, okay? So it's an obvious one. When we do our, and we're going to do a plant observation lab, and you're going to practice this skill, okay?
That's so cool.
All right.